Hold the Don't try me.
Nah, I'm
Don't
just saying,
me.
bro, like, you ain't fighter with that kind of style yet
Don't
to
try
know,
me.
like, whether he's, you know, that's all I'm saying.
Don't try me.
You bring a different style to the table, brother.
The tension between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson has hit an absolute breaking point, and what unfolded in their most recent face-to-face meeting has the entire boxing world buzzing with excitement for January 31st. These two elite fighters didn't just trade words this time. They stepped up close and personal in a way that made everyone present feel like the fight was about to erupt right there on the stage.
Where is he? You should be in the middle. I know I'm there. There you go.
Yeah. Reports say Teofimo wasted no time jumping on social media, firing off a series of posts that had fans laughing nonstop, while also raising some serious doubts about whether Shakur is truly ready for the biggest fight of his life. His comments quickly grabbed attention because they didn't just poke fun. They hit straight at Shakur's credibility. One insider claims Teofimo shared a post that went something like, "So let me get this straight. The guy who's supposed to beat me just got put to sleep by someone he won't fight because they're brothers. Make that make sense." That single message exploded across social media almost instantly, going viral on multiple platforms as fans rushed to the comment sections demanding to see the sparring footage of them.
I'm ready right now. I'm ready at any given time.
I'm tired of your mouth, bro.
Bro, you're not like that.
Whoa.
Hold up, Senior, man. You're not like.
But before getting into the explosive details surrounding the knockout and Teofimo's ruthless trolling, there's some important background that makes this entire situation even more intense. Just days before news of the sparring incident leaked, boxing insiders started noticing some unusual activity between Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis on social media. These are two fighters who constantly refer to each other as brothers, publicly saying they would never fight one another for any amount of money. At the same time, they were seen training out of the same facility in Newark, posting clips and photos that made everything look calm and supportive on the surface. However, people who were actually inside the gym tell a very different story. According to multiple sources,
Man, I don't think none of these dudes is on my level when I'm at my best, so he got a lot to deal with come January 31st.
So without giving up too much, when you look at him as a professional and you see what he's done, the fights he's fought, his style, what is it about him that you are going to exploit?
I think he the truth. He do a lot of things well. I think he flashy. I think it's just some basics.
One trainer who chose to stay anonymous revealed that the atmosphere inside the gym felt uncomfortable the moment both fighters walked in. According to him, the tension was obvious and almost unavoidable. These are two fighters with huge confidence and strong personalities, and even though they share a friendship, there's always been a quiet but serious rivalry between them. Deep down, both believe they're a superior boxer, and that unspoken competition has followed them for years. What was meant to be a calm, technical sparring session quickly turned into something much more intense. The session was originally planned to help Shakur sharpen his timing and reactions ahead of Teofimo's speed and power, not to turn into a battle. However, many boxing insiders believe the frustration between Shakur and Keshin didn't come out of nowhere. It has been slowly building over time because both fighters are elite-level talents chasing the same spotlight, the same respect, and the same big opportunities in the sport. Sources close to the camp claim that even before...
Now, I'm going to try to hold it together but if you disrespect me, which is what he just did, I'm not going to ask him about what he's talking about. When I get close enough, I'm going to show him what I ain't talking about. You understand where I'm coming from? Had he said that in my day?
Lopez fired back immediately, claiming that Shakur's memory is conveniently selective about how those sparring sessions actually played out. You're out here lying to the people. Shakur, those sparring sessions were years ago. And if I remember right, by the third round, I was finding my rhythm and you wanted to stop. But keep telling your stories. The exchange got so heated that Teofimo's father, Teofimo Lopez, Sr., jumped into discussion and took things to a whole new level with his commentary. Lopez Sr. has never been one to hold back his opinions, and this situation was no different as he questioned whether Shakur has ever truly been tested against elite competition.
You see in their sparring session, Teo lands his jab when he wants to. Jab to the body, bang, right there. He landed the jab up top a few times, where Shakur is just posturing. This makes for a very boring fight. What y'all think? Let me know.
My son has beaten world champions. He's beaten former undisputed champions. Shakur hasn't fought nobody at that level. We're about to expose all of that on fight night. These words clearly got under Shakur's skin, and you could see the frustration building as he tried to stay composed while responding to the attacks coming from both Lopez men. Shakur fired back at Lopez Sr. with some sharp comments about his training methods and whether Teofimo is really getting the best preparation for this huge challenge. With all due respect, I've been watching Teo's recent fights, and I'm seeing a lot of problems. I'm seeing defensive lapses. I'm seeing him getting hit with shots he shouldn't be getting hit with. The chess match between these two fighters goes far beyond just the physical side of boxing, as both men are clearly trying to get inside each other's heads before they ever step into the ring.
The difference is you never fought no elite fighter.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think
pressure's
y'all
on
did
you.
either. I ain't see.
Not on my son.
I ain't see Lomachenko throw no punches.
You
for
never
6
been on a big
rounds.
stage like this.
I didn't see Lomachenko throw punches.
You
for
never
6
been
rounds.
on a big stage like
I
this.
didn't see Lomachenko throw punches.
Fans watching the confrontation unfold online had extremely strong reactions, with the boxing community split almost right down the middle on who they think will come out on top. One fan commented on social media, "Shakur is going to box. Circles around Teofimo. The skill gap is too wide and Teo knows it. That's why he's so emotional right now." Another fan offered a completely different take on the matchup. Teo is going to break Shakur's will with body shots. One Stevenson feels that power, all that slick boxing goes out the window. Mark my words. The divide among fans speaks to how evenly matched these fighters appear on paper, despite their vastly different styles and approaches to the sweet science.
I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Yeah, Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, this is not going to be a close fight at all. Like, I don't think you guys understand just how good Shakur is. He is one of the best 135-pounders on the planet. In fact, I actually have him as the best 135-pounder on the planet. I don't think that Teofimo Lopez has the fight IQ to close the distance. I don't think he's going to be able to land the shots. I think that Shakur is going to be on the back foot.
Many boxing experts have weighed in on the psychological warfare side of this rivalry, and most agree that whoever wins a mental battle will hold a major advantage come fight night. Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas discussed the matchup during a recent broadcast, and his analysis offered some fascinating insight into what both fighters need to do. This fight is going to come down to whether Timo can make it ugly enough to break Shakur's rhythm. If Shakur gets comfortable, it's going to be a long night for Lopez. However, other respected voices in boxing have taken the opposite stance, arguing that Shakur has never faced someone with Teofimo's blend of speed, power, and ring intelligence. The debate continues across every boxing platform, with analysts breaking down every possible angle and scenario for how this fight could play out over 12 rounds.
Great defensive fighter, very good offensive fighter. The difference between the two, for me, I think that Teofimo might be a little bit stronger of the two. But, you know, speed can sometimes nullify power.
What makes this rivalry even more compelling is the history between these two fighters that stretches back to their amateur days when they were both climbing through the ranks. Both Timo and Shakur represented Team USA at various international competitions, and there's always been an underlying competitive tension between them over who was the better amateur. Although they never fought each other in official amateur competition, the sparring sessions they shared became the stuff of legend in certain boxing circles. Different people who were present during those sessions have offered wildly conflicting accounts of what actually happened, which only adds more intrigue to their professional showdown.
I think it's really that time for him to really take his first loss and, me whoop his ass to the point where either he quits on the stool or I knock him out. How I see this fight being played out is with me pretty much setting that momentum for the people out there as well. Not really trying to force for it. However, I can't be too technical with Shakur.
One passionate supporter pushed back hard against the rumors, saying that even legendary fighters like Mike Tyson have been dropped in sparring and that it didn't define their careers or their performances on fight night. According to this fan, the incident means absolutely nothing in the bigger picture, and Shakur is still expected to outclass Teofimo and prove that he operates on a completely different level than everyone else at 140. This sharp divide in reactions highlights a deeper reality within boxing culture. Whenever stories from private gyms make their way into the public eye, fans tend to believe whichever version supports the opinion they already had. Facts become secondary to loyalty, and narratives spread fast. What has really fueled the conversation, though, is the timing of this alleged knockout. The fact that it supposedly happened so close to Shakur's highly anticipated fight with Teofimo Lopez has raised serious questions and concerns across the boxing world, adding even more pressure and uncertainty to an already massive matchup.
I'm not sleeping on that I know about Tio. Tio's a good boxer. He's boxer first. So we could say, oh, he's just going to knock you out. He's just going to... That's not him. He's boxing first. He's going to want to establish distance and range on the outside and try to beat me up on the outside. So I think that's the main thing. And also the biggest thing that everybody don't realize with me, I could punch.
The confidence in Shakur's voice was unmistakable, but it also revealed something that Teofimo immediately pounced on during his reply. Lopez pointed out that despite Shakur's perfect record, he hasn't faced the level of opposition that Teofimo has throughout his career, and that gap in experience will matter greatly. You beat good fighters, I beat great fighters. There's a difference, and you're about to learn that lesson the hard way when we get in that ring. The stylistic matchup between these two fighters creates one of the most intriguing technical battles boxing has seen in recent years at this weight class. Shakur Stevenson operates mainly as a slick southpaw counterpuncher who uses sharp footwork and superior ring IQ to frustrate opponents and pick them apart over 12 rounds.
Shakur's a great talent, and Teofimo looked great in his last fight. Of course, he didn't have Shakur in front of him, but I think that for Shakur, he has to keep the fight at his distance. If he does that, I think it's a win for him. Teofimo, he's more, he wants to draw you in, he wants to counterpunch. He's going to have to be a different guy this time.
His defensive skills rank among the best in the entire sport, and he has an uncanny ability to make elite fighters miss badly while landing his own shots with accuracy. However, critics of Shakur point to his sometimes cautious approach and question whether he has the power to truly hurt Timo if the fight turns into a war. On the other hand, Teofimo Lopez brings a completely different energy into the ring with his explosive combinations, underrated power and willingness to take risks to get his offense going. Lopez has shown throughout his career that he can adapt his style to whatever the moment requires, whether that means boxing at range or stepping into phone booth exchanges.
Would Teofimo knock out Shakur? No. Can Teo adjust to the point where he beats Shakur? Yeah. You don't see how? Shakur hates slick and economic boxers. So does Teo. They both hate where each other are. Shakur looks great against volume punchers. De Los Santos sitting back and not being active.
His greatest weapon may be his belief in himself, as Teofimo has pulled off major upsets throughout his career by refusing to be intimidated by bigger names or reputations. The knockout he scored over Richard Kami, the dominance of Vasily Lomachenko, and his win over Josh Taylor all came when people questioned whether he could deliver under pressure.
Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson.
I like both guys, honestly. I like both guys. Teofimo, he's funny, he's got character, but he's a great fighter. He's very athletic. He comes from awkward angles, and I do like his style, but I study boxing, I watch boxing, I do like Shakur Stevenson.
The situation has grown even more complicated with what fans are calling the brother angle. The idea that Shakur has repeatedly used his friendship with Keshin as a reason to avoid professional fight. Social media has been relentless, pointing out the irony that the same fighter he claims to care too much about a face in the ring is the one who reportedly knocked him out in sparring. Across platforms, fans are debating what they see as Shakur's real motivation for refusing the matchup, suggesting that this knockout exposes his true hesitation. One well-known boxing commentator summed it up bluntly, saying that while the brother excuse sounds nice publicly, the sparring incident tells a very different story. According to them, Keshin's performance in the gym demonstrated exactly why Shakur might be reluctant to face him in a real fight. These conversations have exploded online, gaining massive traction, with thousands of fans agreeing that the knockout may have revealed Shakur's genuine feelings about stepping into the ring with Keshin, challenging the narrative he's presented to the public for months.
Basically, what I'm trying to let you know, because now you're facing me.
I don't know how you don't understand. I've been waiting on this moment forever. Like, it's been years and years for this moment right here. You gave me the opportunity. I appreciate you for that. But with it.
Lopez has been particularly vocal about this brother angle, using it as a key part of his psychological strategy against Shakur ahead of their huge upcoming fight. Sources say that in private training sessions, Lopez reportedly made pointed comments along the lines of, "How are you going to beat me when your own brother just knocked you out and you're too scared to even put that fight on paper because you know what happens when it's for real?" Statements like this have struck a chord with many fans, tapping into a long-standing debate in the boxing community about Shakur's willingness to take on the sport's toughest challenges. For years, fans have questioned whether he truly seeks out the most dangerous opponents or prefers to avoid fights that could genuinely test him. Lopez's pointed remarks and the sparring incident have only intensified that conversation, adding a new layer of tension and intrigue as fight night approaches.
Winner of this fight, in my opinion, like I said, is going to be Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is going to outbox. He's going to outbox Teofimo Lopez, easy. If anyone feels different, let me know. But I think that this fight is going to be a fairly easy fight for Shakur Stevenson. I don't think Teofimo Lopez brings anything to the table. Everybody says he has punching power.
Perhaps the harshest part of Teofimo's campaign has been how he's taken to social media to target Shakur's confidence and public image. Sources tracking Lopez's online activities say he's been posting a series of messages clearly designed to amplify the impact of the sparring knockout story, turning it into a psychological weapon. One post that quickly caught attention, reportedly from Teofimo's account, read simply, "Training going great. Nobody in my camp putting me to sleep. Different levels." It was short, but the message was clear. He was highlighting the contrast between his camp and Shakur's sparring incident, sending a pointed reminder to fans and opponents alike that he sees himself on a different level. Posts like this have only added fuel to the ongoing debate, keeping the hype high while putting additional mental pressure on Shakur in the lead-up to their massive fight.
Like, we know Tio for getting up for the big fights. And the reason why I really want to see this fight, I truly believe that Tio could stop Shakur. It ain't going to be no headshot that's going to do it. It's going to be the body shots. Shakur didn't get on those ropes when he fought Zepeda.
Teofimo has said on record many times that nobody is like Shakur, Stevenson, and that unique challenge is what makes this fight so exciting for him personally. Shakur brings a different kind of test. He's not like anybody else I've fought. And that's exactly why I wanted this fight. I want to prove I can beat the best. Shakur has also praised certain aspects of Teofimo's career, especially his willingness to take dangerous fights and his achievements at such a young age. Teo has done some great things in this sport, I respect what he's accomplished, but respect doesn't mean I think he can beat me, because he can't. The final press conference before fight week is expected to be even more intense than what we've already seen, with both fighters likely turning up the psychological warfare. Training camp reports suggest that both men are in outstanding shape and taking this fight very seriously, with neither willing to leave anything to chance. Shakur has been working heavily on his power and his ability to fight effectively on the inside, knowing that Teofimo will probably try to make it a rough physical fight. Teofimo has reportedly been studying footage of Shakur's bout against William Zepeda, looking for any weaknesses or habits he can exploit over 12 rounds.
I think it's a great fight.
Yeah.
I think it's a great fight. You'll really see, because I mean, at the end of it, they're both Olympians. They're both multi-division world champions. Teo is an incredible fighter, and Shakur is an incredible fighter. Shakur has a really high boxing.
Sources say that Teofimo's team has been very deliberate with every post and comment, carefully shaping the image of a confident champion who is entertained rather than threatened by his challenger. But the impact of this sparring incident goes far beyond just a rivalry between Teofimo and Shakur or their upcoming fight. It has sparked wider conversations about boxing culture itself, from how sparring is handled to the so-called brother excuse fighters sometimes use to avoid certain matchups. Analysts are also raising questions about accountability in the sport. Should fighters be judged for what happens behind closed doors, or should sparring remain private? Many experts point out that high-profile athletes face risks the public rarely thinks about. Leaked footage, insider stories, or even casual comments in the gym can quickly spread online and shape reputations, sometimes unfairly. For fighters at the top level, every action, intentional or not, can have consequences that ripple far beyond the gym, affecting public perception, fan reactions, and even the mental game leading into major fights.